Hello, you just watched me finish this book, um, The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Um, I didn't expect the ending to affect me that much. I almost started crying. Uh, Look at the sprayed edges though, look at them. And they're significant for the story, and I love it. um, Let me quickly put on the dust jacket so you have a cover to think of, and then I'll be back. Yeah, so this is the book, and yeah, I don't quite know what to say. Like, one thing is, it's a slow book, and it's sort of, for me at least, it demanded some thinking and some sort of settling every so often. So I don't think this is a book I could binge read. Like, it took some work reading the ending now, like in one go. Um, a couple of chapters and then a break. That's how I've been reading this. I've been reading this since uh, before Christmas. So it's been a long while. Um, but yeah, it's. I've been frustrated with the main character. He can't really make choices, or rather, he doesn't want to. He keeps like following other people and sort of letting fate guide him, even though he doesn't know if he believes in fate. And it's been kind of frustrating because you kind of expect the main character to be the one pushing the story forward. But instead, he's sort of dragged by that and by the arm through the whole thing. And turns out there was a point to that. So I think, as much as I like this time, and as much as it screwed up my head, I think I like it even better the second time I read it, even though that might be a year or two from now. Um, but yeah, I kept thinking of how the second time I read The Night Circus by the same author, it all was so much clearer to me. Like, the first time I read it, I didn't realize there was a love story. So reading it in the light of that um, made it all so much clearer. And I think reading this one in the light of the ending might also be clearer and easier. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't quite know. I mean, to say some things to, like, I've heard stuff said about this book, and I want to address a few of them. One is that the story is broken up by other stories. So, like, every second chapter or every third or fourth chapter, there's a chapter from, like, another book. I quite like that sort of story within a story feeling. Um, I know people don't, like, I know some people don't, and they just want to continue reading the main story, and that's fine. But just know, when you go into this, the stories actually, like, make sense in the light of the bigger story, but it's, yeah, it helps sort of give you the breather that you need to, like, feel this story instead of just experience it. I don't know if I'm making sense at all. Um, but yeah, this really is one of those, like, I don't know if I can use another word than slow. Like, it's a slow moving, syrupy kind of book. And it kind of needs to be read that way. For me, at least, that's my experience. Um, I quite, like, enjoyed the characters, and like, my main enjoyment for this and what pushed me through, like, from, I think I had gotten to about a third and I was too frustrated with the characters and like the plot basically not moving anywhere, that I left it on a shelf for a long time, a month or two. And what like induced me to pick it up again was the setting. It's magical, and it's the setting, the atmosphere, that's conjured up in these pages is amazing, and that's what sort of kept me going. So if you're not like a sucker for good atmosphere in a book, I think you might find it hard to read. But I found it kind of delicious in a way, because I really appreciate those really good settings. And yeah, so that sort of kept me going through the extra slow bits, I guess you could say, where I couldn't see the point. I couldn't see the end. And that's why I think on second reading this might all make more sense, because you can see the end, and you can see therefore how the present, where you are in the book, ties into the end. So it's feels a bit more circular than many other books. In a way, I don't have the brain power or the emotional power to go back to the beginning and start again, but in a way I feel like I could, and that would probably give me more. So I'm still ambivalent about this book. But yeah, I think something magical has happened within these pages, and I did not expect the ending to hit me as hard as it did. I was totally in that world, and oh wow. But yeah, there were bits in there that were very slow and felt kind of pointless. But yeah, I think this might be the case of a book that redeems itself with its ending. I think so. At least for me. I mean, if you're not a fan of slow stories, if you're not a fan of like protagonists who don't really move the story much, if you're not a fan, like a big fan of setting and atmosphere in the way that can keep you going in a book, then yeah, this might not be for you. But yeah, I kept going, and the payoff was actually quite good. So I'm happy that I did. I'm also like, I've been so impatient for this to end. Feels weird to say it, but yeah, I've been thinking sort of, oh, when I finally finish this, I can start something else, or just like feel the weight of this big book off my shoulders. It's kind of stupid to say, but yeah, I haven't sort of given myself leave to take this slowly, which I probably should have, but there's something about reading a book for how many months? 4 months? 3 or 4 months? That's a bit weird to me. So yeah, I've been kind of impatient, and yeah, I don't regret finishing it, which is great. Okay, I've rambled long enough. You now have my thoughts and my feelings about this book and its ending. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.